that's what we're born with. Our next speaker is named Thank You. Did you get those 2 arrows? We all just want to thank the next speaker. So everybody says, Kate Lewis. Kate Lewis is a, we're going to call her a local business owner who is more of an artist, does ceramics, installation art, which we have to let her explain to us because it's hard for me to understand. But she also teaches and does workshops and things like that. So, if everyone could give a hand to Kate Lewis, she's going to come up and talk to us.
Hello everyone, I'm Kate Lewis and I'm a potter, I'm a teacher, and I'm an installation artist. I moved out to the lakeshore about 2 years ago and I just started working in Grand Rapids at this studio and gallery at 645 West Fulton. You guys might remember Lotso Pots used to be there before, but now we have the Kate Lewis Ceramics Studio and Gallery sign hanging there. And my favorite thing to do in life is wood firing ceramics. So that involves stacking a kiln full of pots or ceramic sculptures, stoking wood into the kiln for either 10 hours to 5 days, depending on the size of the kiln. And here we have a picture of me stoking the last stoke into a wood kiln that I fired in Denmark that took us 3 days to fire. So in order to get to firing the wood kiln, you have to make stuff to put in it, and I also enjoy making pots a lot. It's really relaxing, and it just brings you a nice sense of peace to get into making the same type of pot over and over again. And there's something really nice about making something beautiful for people to use every day. And my favorite thing to make are tea sets, because I feel like it really gets across that feeling of peace that I sense when I'm making stuff out of clay and using this type of object. When you sit down and have tea, it's relaxing to take time to kind of indulge in enjoying something out of a handmade object. And so it just kind of comes naturally to me to teach ceramics and share what I'm passionate with other people through showing them how to make things. And so this was a recent workshop I did on New Year's Eve where we made little clay projects and then carved our New Year's resolutions into them. So you all probably know what a potter is and what a teacher is, but as Dan pointed out, not everyone really knows what an installation artist is. So this is an example of a piece of installation art that I made for my Bachelor of Fine Arts thesis, which I completed at Michigan State University. And an installation is where you arrange sculptural objects in a space, and the way that they're arranged kind of changes the feeling or mood of the space, and it's that feeling that is the aesthetic object. Instead of looking at a painting and having just like a visual experience of art, installation is about communicating on the level of feeling. And I just find it's easier to communicate that sense of peace that I want to express as an artist through creating these installations. And I find a lot of inspiration in the beauty of nature, so I make lots of little objects that remind you of things in nature, and then I arrange them in space. And so I used to make spaces like the one that you just saw, where they were kind of visions of what I thought a meditative space would look like. And then I realized that I wasn't connecting with people the way that I really wanted to. There was something kind of missing, and it was the element of interaction. And so I started creating these installations where I present pieces for people to pick up and arrange on the wall and create their own designs. And in that way, they're experiencing that moment of creativity, that moment that I find so relaxing and rejuvenating. And they get a better access to that sense of peace that I'm trying to communicate. And so I found Art Prize to be the perfect venue to show these sort of interactive installations. And this was one that I showed in 2010 at the Women's City Club. And this one here I showed in 2011 at the Monroe Community Church. And this one was a little bit different, where I had hanging forms to kind of create a nice feeling in the space. and set up an inspirational mood for people to then come in and interact and arrange these pieces on the wall and on the floor. And as you can see, the kids kind of are drawn to it at first, but then that draws the parents into the space, and then it becomes this shared experience where it's not just one person making a piece of art, it's a community collaboration. And one thing I like is taking the same installation and moving it from place to place. And in that way, it's kind of connecting different communities of people through the interaction with my installation. So I had the opportunity to show this piece again at the Holland Area Arts Council where I work, because they had a show called Reprise, which was a collection of art prize artists from the Lakeshore. And it was just another great opportunity to have a different crowd of people interacting with the piece. And so this show just ended a few weeks ago, and I took the hanging objects and I put them up in my gallery and to replace the Christmas decorations that hung there. So they're hanging in the storefront windows. And I just came up here tonight to kind of share with you all that I found this medium clay, which just seems kind of universally grounding and centering to work with. And it's kind of like my life's passion to share that with other people. So I just wanted to introduce myself to some folks in Grand Rapids and invite you to stop by the studio sometime and enjoy clay. And there's many ways. You can grab a piece of handmade pottery where you can enjoy drinking your coffee out of a handmade cup and eating your sandwich off of a handmade plate every day. Or you could come in and do a workshop or a class and actually get that experience of playing with clay. Or you could find one of my interactive installations around Grand Rapids somewhere, and you'll know what to do when you see it. You can play around with it and touch it and try to find your own moment of meditation.
Thanks.
I wonder how many of those resolutions are still kept that are carved in those pots forever. Most of them, yeah. You do the workshops right in the studio?
Yep.
Cool. I've been to that studio and it's a pretty cool little space up front. There's a nice little, you saw some pictures actually, a nice little space with some of the stuff she's made in the back. She's got this great workspace back there. So stop by. Next